David Wright. Help and advice for living and working in Spain. You're listening to The Right Way. The Right Way with David Wright.
The comment section is open. Chat live to the DJ right now via our website.
And here he is, the legendary David Wright.
A very good afternoon and welcome to The Right Way with me, David Wright, here on Almeria Radio, a 107.5 FM, and a big thank you to John Alex for keeping us entertained this afternoon. Thank you, John. Have a great weekend. Well, loads more tips and advice on living and working in Spain, and it's Friday, so yeah, it's Wine Time Friday. Got a great wine recommendation for you coming up a little bit later on in the show, and free tickets to the Place in the Sun event in Birmingham and also in Dublin. I've got my sponsors giving away a load of free tickets, so it's not just one or two, it's loads of tickets. So if you want these tickets, listen in. That's all coming up a little bit later on in the show.
Live.
David Wright. David Wright.
David.
The Afternoon Show.
Okay, so it's Friday, it's almost Wine Time Friday. Yes, every Friday I play Wine Time Friday here, where I have my top expert from Madrid joining us here on the show, giving us her recommendation for the weekend. Each week a different bottle of wine, so don't miss out on Wine Time Friday. Coming up a little bit later on the show today. And it's time to say hi to some of the people in the comment section. Hi to Rita Grange, hi to Guy, Carol and Ryan. Hi Ryan, how you doing, mate? And Andy and John Alex, all in the comment section. The comment section has rebooted, so come and say hi, come and keep me company this afternoon. So more tips and advice on living and working in Spain, and free tickets to A Place in the Sun. Now, thanks to the sponsors of my show, Indalu Transport and Storage. Their details are in the comment section now. Paul has kindly given away loads of free tickets for my listeners today. So if you're thinking about going to the NEC in Birmingham, there's the show A Place in the Sun. There's lots going on there. That event is on the 20th to the 23rd of September, and also in Dublin in October. Now, if you want tickets, these are free tickets. All you need to do is just say how many tickets you want. Go over to Paul's website, put your name and your email in there, and Paul will send you these tickets completely free, no charge whatsoever. Some of the listeners already had tickets to the last show a few months ago, and yeah, it's a great event. You've got some good information, tips and advice there, lots going on, lots to see and do, food and drink, things like that. Just go over and ask for Paul. Tell him David from the radio sent you, and you'll get your free tickets to A Place in the Sun. Capaldi there and Someone You Loved. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen this in the news this week about these giant jellyfish being washed up on the beaches here on the south coast of Spain. Yeah, this is a new species of jellyfish, and it's pretty big, a 3-meter long tentacles, and it weighs up to 40 kilos, these jellyfish. And they say that the stings can be quite painful. It's not as bad as a bee sting, they reckon, but some people could be allergic to it, so you need to be careful. They're transparent, a little bit of a pinky colour, but these are very, very big, 3-meter long jellyfish being washed up on the beaches here in Andalusia at the moment, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, so it's Friday, Wine Time Friday coming up a little bit later on, and things are all getting back to normal here. Schools are going back now, the kids are going back to school this week, and all the clubs open up and activities, extra after school activities, things like that. Now, in where I live here in Retamar, just outside Almeria City, there's lots of clubs and entertainment going on at the moment, and they started Salsa Dancing Club just at the end of my road, just literally 5 minutes away from where I am. So my wife and I are going there tonight, start up some Salsa Dancing Club.
It's Friday, and that Friday feeling, getting you into the mood for the weekend.
The comment section is open. Chat live to the DJ right now via our website.
And here he is, the legendary David Wright.
And good afternoon. Join us in the comment section. Jacob's Cracker, Cat Dog, Chris Lovelace, and Sylvia from Leeds. And remember the free tickets to the NEC Birmingham A Place in the Sun event. Now, this is a great event. Paul from Indalo Transport, one of the sponsors of my shows, has kindly offered to give away free tickets to my listeners today. So anybody that wants any of these tickets, this is to the NEC in Birmingham. This is on the 20th to the 23rd of this month, September. And also in Dublin, October. So there's two events there. All you need to do to get these tickets is to go over to Paul's website. That's indalotransport.com, and put in your name and your email, and Paul will send you those tickets. Just say you're from the radio show. Just say David sent you, and Paul will give you those free tickets. I think there's some parking included there as well. It was last time. I'm not sure on that one. But these are completely free tickets. Ask Paul for as many as you like, and just say David said they want the free tickets. So yeah, it's a great event there, and you get to meet some of the cast as well, possibly. Several years ago now it was, I was on A Place in the Sun here down in Almerimar, not far from where I live. One of the guys was buying a property here, and they asked me to come down and go on the show as a local expert guide on the area. And the guy was buying a property here. His name was Jeff. He was a motorbike enthusiast. So I went down on my motorbike and filming all morning. As you know what it's like on the TV. They edited it all out. I think I was actually on the TV for about 30 seconds. But there you go. It was a great day out. And I got to meet Laura, the presenter of the show. Very nice person indeed. And you might get to meet her at the show. So if you want the free tickets, just go on over there to the website of Paul there.
Your music, your request.
David Wright. Help and advice for living and working in Spain. You're listening to The Right Way. The Right Way with David Wright.
Okay, so it's Friday and it's Wine Time Friday. Unfortunately, our wine expert can't be with us today, but she's given us, sent in a wine recommendation, one that I like very much. I've had this one myself a few times. So here it is. It's called Artiso Crianza. Artiso Crianza. I think I spelled that. I'll try to spew that out correctly. Anyway, it's a red wine from Rioja. Now, this is easily available in Mercadona. This is why I like this one. It's only $4.50, so it's not too bad on the price margin there. Now, this is made from the Tempranillo grape. This is a very, very popular grape in this part of Spain, and it's in the heart of the red wine country in Rioja. Now, it's a full-bodied red. It's a very nice dark red wine, this one, and it goes great with with meat. This is a red wine meat dish, and expert says that this is voted number 5 out of all the wines in Mercadona recently. So yeah, in a poll it came out number 5, top of the wines there in Mercadona. So it's called Artiso Crianza, and it's $4.50, and you can get it in Mercadona. I'm going to Mercadona tonight, so I'm definitely going to check this one out again. It's we had it a couple of times this year, and my wife likes it very much. I'm not a big red wine drinker myself, but this is a good red wine, and if my Spanish wife likes it, it must be good. So there you go. So check that one out next time we're in Mercadona. Okay, so I want to say a big thank you to the sponsors of my show this week, and that's Gecko Graphics, their website design company. The details are in the comment section now, and they just built me a new website, and you can go and check that out. It's almeriamotorbiketours.com. Absolutely amazing job, great service there, and their details are in the comment section now if you need a website being built. You're listening to The Right Way with me, David Wright, here on Almeria Radio, 107.5 FM, Friday the 13th today. And a bit overcast and very, very windy here in Almeria today. What's the weather like where you are? Still about 28 degrees, so it's not too bad at all out there, just a bit blowy and breezy at the moment. Okay, so there's some new rights and laws out for domestic workers here in Spain. I'll be telling you about that after this. Dua Lipa there and Houdini. Okay, so there's some new rights out for domestic workers in Spain, according to these new laws that have been passed recently. So this is occupational risk assessment for the employers. So if you're a domestic worker here in Spain now, employees are responsible for workers' safety and must assess risks and dangers in the workplace. Also, they must provide protective equipment for the workers that are working in their charge. Right to refuse work if the environment environment is dangerous. The workers have got the right to refuse work. And also protective against violence or harassment. This is down to the employer. Now needs to provide protection against violence or harassment. And there's a free annual health checkup for workers, and this is going to be paid for not by the employer but by the local government. This is an annual checkup to see if there's any risks involved in their health due to their working conditions. This is all for domestic workers in Spain. If you want to know more about these new rights and regulations for domestic workers here in Spain, it's over on the information page. That's davidwrightonline.com information page. Okay, so I did talk about these rights for the domestic workers earlier, but something that comes up quite a lot here in Spain, with especially with the British people, is if you need to be aware of this. If you've got anybody working on your property, that means if you've got somebody, a friend or somebody from the local bar that's come down to give you a hand decorating, things like that, you, the owner, are responsible for that worker. Now, if you're paying them, if they're just working for nothing, that's fine. It's just doing it for no money at all. But you need to be very careful. It's a bit of a grey area. If you actually pay the person and they have an accident of any kind at all, if they fall off a ladder or they trip over something, they can sue you, and you can be fined up to 20,000 euros for each person that's working on your house if they're not properly legally registered to work here in Spain. Now, it is down to the owner to make sure that that person is legal here. It's no good just asking them. You need to ask to see proof of that, and what you need to do is to see if they're paying their social security payments. And if they can't show you that they are doing that, or that they're self-employed, that they're a registered business here, then I wouldn't have them in the house working there. You can get into a lot of trouble and you can be fined, and also they can be in a lot of problems as well if they're working illegally here in Spain. Now, remember, if you're doing any work on your house at all or on your property, you do need a permission for this. Now, there's two types of licenses here. There's the obra minor and obra major, and this is a small building works license and a large building works license. Normally, you would only need the small works license, and it's easy to get. You just go to your local town hall, your local council office. You tell them you're doing decorating the bathroom or putting a new kitchen in, something like that, and tell them what the cost of the works is. You can always underestimate it a little bit, and then you pay a percentage of the costs of the work, and they give you a license for that. Normally it's around, it's a small charge. Sometimes it's under 100 euros for the license. There's a little bit of paper, they stamp it, and away you go. And you can work away on the property there. If the neighbours complain about noise or dust or anything like that, they haven't got a leg to stand on. You've got the proper license. If you're doing anything a little bit larger works, taking out anything structural, doors, windows, knocking down walls, things like that, then you will need a license from the major license, and that is from the council, and you will need to get architects involved in that. They have to present the plans on the work that you're doing. It has to be approved, and you pay the tax on that before you can start the work, and then you get a license to do it. That's a little bit more involved, and it can cost a little bit more money. But if you're not sure about this, go to the local councils and ask first. You can do it anonymously. Tell them you're just thinking about doing it, and they can give you an idea before you get into paying any money. But it can be beneficial to go and speak to an architect first. He can tell you what license you'll need. If you do it without a license, and you might get away with it, but further down the line, they've got drones now, they've got council workers that come around, all sorts of things that they can check on. And believe me, I was in the council offices not too long ago, and they've got Google Earth with cameras that can zoom right in, and they can read a blooming newspaper from your back garden. So yeah, they can see everything that's going on. Also, remember, if you're taking rubbish away or you've got a skip or anything like that, these skips are registered now, and they're registered with the council, so they know that somebody's doing work there, and they send people around to have a look. So Spain is not as backward as it used to be with building works here. It's getting very, very strict, so make sure you do the works properly and get the proper license. Streets of Philadelphia there, Bruce Springsteen.
David Wright, help and advice for living and working in Spain. You're listening to The Right Way. The Right Way with David Wright.
Okay, so remember you can get these tickets to A Place in the Sun event at the NEC in Birmingham. That's on the 20th to the 23rd of September. Also in Dublin in October, Place in the Sun, great event. And these tickets are completely free to listeners of the Al Maria radio shows. And all you need to do is go over to Indalo Transport and Storage. Thanks, Paul, there. He's a sponsor of my show. Put in your name and your email and Paul will send you some free tickets to the show there. But that's just about it for another show. Thanks very much for everybody for joining me in the comment section, and a big shout out to Daniel and Zachary for joining us. Thanks very much, you guys, and I'll leave you now with a bit of Otis Redding. Up next is a 5 o'clock hit mix with Rob Mack. Stay tuned.
That's all, folks.